News Day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Trade Department is appealing to manufacturers to keep any price increases of Noche Buena items to 10% or less. In an interview with One Balita Pilipinas, Trade Undersecretary Ruth Castelo admitted that a price hike for Noche Buena products is long overdue. However, since there is no suggested retail price or SRP for these items, the agency is instead asking manufacturers to be more considerate in implementing price hikes.
Ang pakiusap natin talaga sa manufacturers ng Noche Buena product, kung pwede i-maximize nila sa 10% maximum na increase. Pero meron kasing mga produkto na hindi maiwasan igalaw. Kaya yung pakiusap natin sa ibang produkto natin na ibababa.
One economist is advising the government to lessen its dependence on foreign debt as the peso continues to depreciate. In an interview with Radio 5, Professor Emmanuel Leico warned that the peso could go as low to 60 pesos against the US dollar if the government fails to act on the issue. Leico suggests that Congress should cut deficit spending, especially if government revenue collection remains low. On Friday, the peso hit another record low for a fourth straight trading day, falling to 58 pesos and 50 centavos against $1 US.
Hindi po ito business as usual na para tayong we're spending like there is no tomorrow. Kailangan natin ay magkaroon tayo ng defensive na spending, defensive na budget, at magkaroon tayo ng priorities na yun lang ang kailangan nating gawan. So yung mga budget tungkol doon sa hindi natin masyadong kailangan, tanggalin na natin.
We will be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. This is still One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has hinted at further rate hikes even after a fresh increase of 50 basis points. BSP Governor Felipe Medalla discusses that and more in this interview with Bloomberg.
To begin with, of course, 25 is practically nothing. So, on the other hand, we don't have the same inflation problem as the U.S. So we don't have to match them point by point. Remember, the gap between the U.S. inflation rate and the Philippine inflation is nearly, what? Nearly 5 points. 5 percentage points.
But it's still above your inflation target for the central bank.
Yes, but we project that by the middle of next year, inflation will be between 3 and 4. And possibly closer to 3 than 4. We are responding both to making sure that the current inflation doesn't get carried over the next year. In other words, we're countering price pressures that what we call second-order effects of current inflation. Because remember, the current inflation is supply-side supply shocks. and therefore interest rate policy is not really very good for them. But what we're afraid of is this momentum will carry over, and even after the supply shocks are gone, inflation will still be there. So the policy rates are addressing that. Now the complication is that the strong dollar is adding to the inflation. Normally, that will not be too large, like a pass-through is say 0.1. But if the change in the exchange rate is 10%, 0.1 of 10 is one full percentage. So that's the other thing. The strong dollar is requiring us to have bigger policy rate increases than otherwise be under normal circumstances.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. President Bongbong Marcos and U.S. President Joe Biden met on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. Biden says he is seeking to strengthen relations with the Philippines after what he described as You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.